Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Rich from Rich TV Live. And I wanted to speak to you about dilution. It seems like every June is dilution season. Every single June. I've seen this trend over and over and over again. Companies start to slow down. Summertime comes, everybody goes on vacation. Less and less people are buying stocks. So what do these companies do? They think, oh, okay, since there's nothing happening in the market, since we need to raise capital, since things are slowing down, let's raise some money. So guess what happens? Guess what happens? I'm going to break down this stock right here, which is down 20% today, okay? The Flower Corporation announces public offering of common shares for approximately $125 million. The Flower Corporation on the TSXV FLWR and in America FLWPF announced today it has commenced an underwritten public offering of common shares for approximately $125 million. What do you think the stock did? Pull up Flower today. What do you think the stock did? What do you think the stock did? Tanked. Every single stock that we've seen that's raised money has gone down. Every single time we've seen a stock raise money, it goes down. We saw it with Cannabis. We saw it with BAM. We've seen it recently with Labs. Now we're seeing it with Flower. Every single time they raise money, it goes down. Thank you guys for joining me here. I'm reading you guys' messages. Mr. Lou 1990 says the money is moving from Canadian LPs to US MSOs. I think that is somewhat true. But the reality is, I think that it's just doing what it always does. I mean, historically, look at the markets. Every single summer, they slow down. Every single summer, we see 52-week lows. Every single summer, we see these companies go shopping for financing. And typically, when they go shopping for financing, the stocks go down. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Never Satisfied says OBLN was good for the last 2 days. Yeah, it's been on fire. Jefferson Chang says MMEN, danger, danger. Joe Namaste says Agriflora slowly going up in the last 3 days. Yeah, Agra has been doing well. ITHUF thoughts. I love Ianthus. I think Ianthus has a great future. I think they're very close to a bottom. And I see a lot of upside, not just for Ianthus, but for this entire sector in the next 3 to 4 months. Once we get past this month, and a lot of these companies stop focusing on raising capital and diluting their stock, I think we'll see a lot of upside. But this dilution issue is a major issue, and every single time we see it, these stocks go down. Every single time. And Flower is absolutely no different. I mean, you buy a stock, it announces financing, you have to get chills. The Flower Corporation announced today it has commenced an underwritten public offering of common shares for approximately $125 million, otherwise known as the offering. As part of the offering, the company expects to grant the underwriters an option to purchase an additional 15% of the number of common shares sold in the offering at the offering price for 30 days following closing. The offering is expected to be priced in the context of the market, with the final terms of the offering to be determined at the time of pricing. The common shares are expected to be listed on the TSX Venture Exchange and the NASDAQ Capital Market. The company intends to use the net proceeds from the offering to fund, in part, its acquisition of the approximately 80% equity interest of Hologen Holdings Limited that it does not already own. Working capital required for the construction and development of Hologens and the company's cultivation and production facilities, and for general corporate purposes. Barclays, BMO Capital Markets, and Credit Suisse are representatives for the underwriters, are acting as joint book runners in connection with the offering. Those are three huge names. It's very interesting. The company filed today a preliminary short form base prep prospectus, the preliminary prospectus in connection with the offering. The preliminary prospectus was filed with the Securities Commission in each of the provinces of Canada except Quebec. They always leave Quebec out. The preliminary prospectus was also filed with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, otherwise known as the SEC, as part of a registration statement on Form F-10, in accordance with the multi-jurisdictional disclosure system established between Canada and the United States. The registration statement has not yet become effective, and the common shares may not be sold, nor may offers to buy be accepted prior to the time the registration statement becomes effective. The preliminary prospectus contains important detailed information about the offering. The preliminary prospectus can be found under the company's profile on SEDAR at sedar.com and on EDGAR at www.sec.gov. Interesting. About Flower Corporation. Flower, through its subsidiaries, holds a cannabis production and sales license granted by Health Canada. With a head office in Toronto and a production facility in Kelowna, BC, Flower builds and operates large-scale GMP-designed cultivation facilities utilizing its own growing systems. Flower expects to provide premium quality cannabis to the adult use recreational market and medicinal market. So this news goes out and the stock goes down 20%. So I've noticed this trend. I've yet to see any company not go down on financing. So when you're looking to invest in these companies, if you invest in a company and then it does a financing, you need to think of a few things at that time. A, you may want to get out as soon as possible before it crashes, because the Flower Corporation is down 21% right now. B, you might just want to hold and wait, but you might be waiting for a while. C, you may want to lower your cost if you see it goes down, to position yourself, because the reality is once they have the 125 million working for them, chances are the company's going to be bigger and they're going to be better and they're going to have more resources to grow. So those are really your options. Derek Pieria asks, when should you start scaling in for the next run up? I think you should start pretty soon. I mean, we're finding 52-week lows on pretty much everything in the sector. So watch your stocks that you really like and consider positioning yourself for a nice run. Mr. Lou 1990 says, but I'm thinking long-term with USA legalization. US MSOs are on sale right now. Some of them might be. I wouldn't say all of them are, but I think some of them might be. LL says, Cura, Cresco, Charlotte, all in on CBDs. I like all three. CR says, it's the beginning. That's why I don't know why you people are tripping out. Relax. We're investing, not gambling. I don't know who's tripping out. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to panic about anything. I mean, it's the stock market. In the stock market, stocks are going to go up and down. They're doing what they do. Frank asks, do you think that Tilt Holdings can turn it around? I think they will. The issues with Tilt Holdings is insiders. I mean, it's clear. They raised $60 million in insider options. I mean, if all you care about is your insiders getting rich and you're not focused on building shareholder equity and creating shareholder value for your shareholders, why would your shareholders care about you? This is the issue with Tilt. I mean, it's obvious. Tilt doesn't care about their shareholders. They only care about themselves. If they cared about their shareholders, they wouldn't be diluting their stock and pulling out money to pay their insiders. $60 million in options. And the stock tanks. Now it's down to no man's land almost. You know, once you get these stocks under $1, forget about it. I mean, I've seen so many companies get to that dollar range and they never get out. So thank you guys for the likes. I appreciate you guys. So yeah, once you get to that no man's land range of $1 or under, it's really, really hard to get out. Really, really hard to get out. Quentin Simmons, IIPR is on fire. IIPR is the gift that keeps on giving. It's the gift that keeps on giving, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. One thing I'll tell you guys is that I've been doing this for 2.5 years, and I've seen big highs and I've seen big lows, and I'm just used to it now. And I've seen many catalysts come and go. I've seen many fundraisings come and go. And every single time I've seen these companies raise capital, they've gone down. Initially, I've seen Organigram raise capital. I've seen Canopy Growth raise capital. I've seen Aurora Cannabis raise capital. I've seen CanTrust raise capital. I've seen Afria raise capital. I've seen Kronos Group raise capital. In the early days, they all raised capital so that they could grow. They all went down after they raised capital. Now look into the future, look 2 years later, they're all up. They're all up. And they're up a lot, okay? So what does that tell you? I've seen Tilray raise capital. I've seen a lot of these companies raise capital. So typically what they do is they run up for what reason? To make you money? No, they're not doing it to make you money. They're not doing it to make me money. They're doing it to make themselves money. So typically when they run up, they're doing it for one reason, to raise capital. Once they run really, really high up, then what you see them do is they start shopping around. They start shopping around. Hey, who wants to buy some of our stock? Hey, who wants a piece of our stock? Hey, who wants some options? Hey, who wants some warrants? Anybody? Anybody? Everybody? Everybody? So they go out there and they raise capital. And then when they raise capital, the market makers, institutional investors, the institutions, the day traders, the shorters, the speculators, everybody in the sector, it's like a bullseye. Oh, Flower just raised 125 million. Short! So what happens is it starts to get shorted, and then what happens? Panic sets in. And what happens when people panic? They sell. So the short start shorting it, panic sets in, people start selling, and then the insiders, the institutional investors, the big boys, that's when they buy it. Good stock raises money, they go down, and then the big boys buy it when it's down. Then over time, a catalyst comes, the stock explode, and that's when the big boys sell. That's the game. I've seen it over and over and over again. It's becoming repetitive. It's becoming almost predictable. Okay? We have members in our community that every time they see Afria go to like $8, they buy it, and then it goes up to $9.50, $10, they sell it. Aurora Cannabis goes to $9, they buy it, it goes back up to $10, they sell it. There's a lot of predictable moves in the market. And I believe that this industry, as it starts to have more of a history, because remember, this is a sector that's only been around for 4 or 5 years. It's still a baby. As this sector becomes more and more aware to the public, as it becomes bigger, as it becomes more mainstream, what you will see is more and more people will start to see these trends. They will start to speak on these trends. and they will start to educate people on these trends. Because I've been in the sector for 2.5 years and I've been buying these stocks and I've been selling these stocks and I've been day trading these stocks and I've been long trading these stocks, I've been interviewing these companies, I've been watching these stocks every single day, I'm starting to see this trend, and I'm trying to really master the art of learning this market intrinsically and understanding exactly when to buy, exactly when to sell, taking the emotion out of it, and buying low and selling high. And I feel like every day I'm getting a little bit better. But still, as a human being, we have emotions. So when stocks go down, it doesn't feel good. And when stocks go up, it feels very, very good. I got some stocks that are down, and I got some stocks that are up in this sector. But the reality is, right now, overall, the sector is down. It's very close to a 52-week low for the entire sector. So if you're looking to hunt bottoms and if you're looking to buy a bottom, right now may be the best time to position yourself in some cannabis stocks. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and buy anything. I'm just saying that if you look at the charts, you can see that we are around a 52-week low, and we are 6 months through 2019. So if you're at a 52-week low and you're halfway through the year, that's a pretty good indicator that we're finding a bottom and that the upside is going to be pretty tremendous from here. Now, I would not be telling anyone to buy anything when we're at 52-week high, but when you're in a 52-week low, that's when you really need to consider positioning yourself in stocks. And if you get into a position like a Flower that raised 125 million, you need to be careful, because the reality is today's just day one. And based on what I've seen on previous companies that have raised capital, done large financing, and have been highly dilutive, they go down for a little while. Typically, they go down for like a month, sometimes 2 months, sometimes 3 months. But we can use this to our advantage, because if you really like Flower and you didn't want to buy it at $6, $7, well, now it's at $5. So if you're looking to position yourself in a good company that has 3 huge banks that are taking over their financing and their underwriting, Flower might be a great company to position yourself. I just wouldn't do it right away. I'd watch on the sidelines, continue to see how much it goes down. And then if right now it's trading at like $5, what is that? 561. So if it's trading at 561, it's down 21%. If it gets down to the $4 range, that might be the time to position yourself. That's just my opinion. Let's just read some of you guys' messages. Future Farm. You know, Future Farm's a company I was interested in a while ago. They've kind of got off my radar. Not that interested in them anymore. And like I said, trying to stay away from stocks under $1 right now, because they just seem to be getting obliterated. And anything under $1 is having a trouble getting back over $1 range. TrueLeaf is doing that now. Is TrueLeaf raising capital? Is that what's going on with TrueLeaf? Fat Nuts says, hey, nice name. Hey, Rich, here's something different. I would love to know what you think about waste management, ticker WM in America. I think waste management has a future. I know that they're working with Aurora Cannabis. Anyone that's working with Aurora is going to have a future. I just don't know much about the stock as far as the price. I'd stay away from it. It hasn't really done anything ever. And typically stocks that have never done well are not really anything I'm interested in. Quinton Simmons, YOLO and IIPR for the next 5 years. Well, yeah, IIPR has been just a dream over the last year, going from $45 to 120 plus. It's been amazing. So congratulations to anyone who's taken advantage of the move on IIPR. YOLO, a cannabis ETF. A lot of you guys have been talking to me about it. Looks pretty good. I do not own either, but I'm looking very closely at IIPR. I'd be more interested in IIPR at this point, simply because of the fact that they have a dividend. I really like stocks that pay dividends, especially cannabis stocks. So IIPR to me, I like the fact that they're a REIT, a real estate investment trust. I love the fact that they're paying a dividend and in the cannabis sector. So yeah, I think that they have a great future. Internet Thug TV is saying CTTH is up 20% a penny stock. Yeah, I mean, penny stocks are going to make moves up and down. They're highly risky, highly volatile. If you can find, a winner to help you make some money, take it. Now, remember when I tell you guys, hey, I'm not going to get as involved in penny stocks. I own a lot of penny stocks. So when I'm saying that, I'm kind of saying that as like a future investor that's still developing my style. I want to get away from the penny stocks, but I've always been into the penny stocks. So it's hard. It's hard because I have had success in penny stocks. I've also had some failures. So penny stocks can be very, very risky, highly volatile, a lot of ups and downs. They can give you gray hairs. They can also buy you cars and houses and villas. So, I always say stay away from penny stocks because as a long-term investor, like Warren Buffett doesn't buy penny stocks. Jim Cramer doesn't buy penny stocks. So if you want to be the best investor, yeah, penny stocks are probably not the best place to play. But as a risky investor that likes volatility and likes risk, there's always going to be a little place in my heart for penny stocks. Probably 10% of my portfolio will always be penny stocks just because I enjoy the risk. But 90%, I would say, of your portfolio should be in big board stocks that are going to give you security. LL says, True Leaf dominates Florida, but they are looking to expand. So down goes the great stock. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens, right? They want to expand, so they got to raise capital. They raise capital by selling stock, which dilutes the stock, and everybody shorts them, and everybody takes them down. Quinton Simmons says, I'm up 31% on IIPR. Good job, Quinton. Internet Thug TV says CTTH works with Aurora. Yeah, that symbol does look familiar, but there's a lot of companies working with Aurora that may or may not be doing well right now. So just be careful. Don't just assume that everybody that works with Aurora is going to do well. But CTTH, now that you mention it, they do sound very familiar. So yeah, you never know. Anyone that works with Aurora is going to have a future, that's for sure. But like I said, any stocks that are under $1, be careful because they're highly volatile. Henry Moore says, what do you think of Abatis Bioceuticals? I like Rich TV Live. You're great. Thank you, Henry. Oh man, Abatis has been a massive failure. I'm not really impressed with them. I would be careful, and I personally would stay away. Gail Belaz is up 130% on IIPR. Wow, congratulations, Gail. You're doing very well. LL says, have a great day, just holding on. Yeah, if you're holding stocks and you're just waiting for resurrection, we might not be that far away. We may not be far away. Eric De Silva says, stock market sucks every Tuesday. If could MasterCard counting on blackjack, I'd make easy 75K in 1 minute. Yeah, I don't know about the every Tuesday thing. I mean, every day is really different in the market. That's what makes the market so interesting, so speculative, so risky, so volatile, is every single day is a new day in the market. And every day is going to have winners and every day is going to have losers. That's just the way the market goes. And it's never going to change. LL says, hope so. Thanks, Rich. Our stock therapist. Love ya. Well, I mean, just look at the charts, guys. I mean, have we ever seen the cannabis stocks just disappear? Or do we see them go up and then go down and then go up and then go down and then go up and then go down and then go up and then go down? Let's break it down. 2017, when I started, Aurora Cannabis, Cannabis Growth, Chronos Group, Afria, Organogram, all of them were trading much lower. Your very own Rich TV Live started on YouTube January 2017, started talking about all these cannabis stocks. The summer of 2017, they were all up and down. They were very choppy. They weren't doing very well. The fall of 2017 was an incredible resurrection where I personally took $10,000 and turned it into 100 grand, made 10 times my money. By the end of December 2017, I had 100 grand in my account. I started with 10. That was epic. That was 2017. Then 2018 started. They all crashed. January 2018, they all crashed. And they stayed down in 2018 for the most part, all the way until July of 2018, which started the resurrection. July of 2018, the resurrection started and they all started to climb. August, they were hot. September, they were hot. October, they started hot. And then around October 14th, the crash again, right before legalization. And the crash lasted, it seemed like forever, middle of October, all of November, destitute. Most, if not all of December, down. 2.5 months of red. And December 24th, the day before Christmas, the resurrection. At this point, I'm thinking, holy shit, the market's doing terrible. I'm going on vacation. I go to the Dominican Republic in January of 2019. And what happens? The resurrection. All of January 2019, it was like this. While I'm on the beach, I'm making money. And stocks explode again. We see 52-week highs. We see crazy explosions. We see stocks going up like crazy, like mad, all over the world in the cannabis sector, in Canada and the US. Then what happened? Where are we now? June 2019. So January, it was a huge resurrection. February, it continued. March, it started to slow down. April, it slowed down. May, it slowed down. June, it slowed down. Here we are, the end of June 2019. What does the future have in store for us? Do any of you actually believe that it's just going to keep going down? Come on, guys. We know what's coming. The resurrection is near. We're at 52-week lows. We know, based on history, that we're going to have another massive resurrection. Now, what's the catalyst this time? Edibles is being legalized October 17, 2019, which is less than 4 months away. Cannabis is legalizing every single day in America. More and more states are opening up. That is a huge catalyst. Each and every one of these companies is starting to show bigger and bigger quarterly sales. That's a catalyst. So we've got a lot of catalysts coming around the corner. And in my opinion, this is the time to load up. Did you take your 100 grand or watch it diminish? No, I took it. I always do. But what I did is I then reinvested again and bought, I took some of it out. I took about 40% of it out, about 40 grand. And then I reinvested 60 grand back in, of which a lot of them went down because after that, it was a huge consolidation. So I had to wait until the resurrection again to start seeing profits, which I did. So this industry is very forgiving. What goes down will go up, especially with the good stocks. What goes up will typically start to come down at some point for all the stocks. So there's a lot of volatility. And if you ask an expert about the cannabis sector, this is one of the things that really concerns me about the cannabis sector. If you go on BNM Bloomberg and you listen to any hedge fund manager about cannabis stocks, none of them are playing the cannabis stocks. They all believe that the entire sector is overhyped, is highly volatile, is highly speculative, and they believe that this sector is very difficult to wrap your head around because none of these companies are trading at normal evaluations. Like typically the street wants companies to trade at 5 to 10 times earnings. Cannabis companies as a sector are trading between 20 to 60 times earnings, 20 to 60 times revenue. Most analysts do not believe that this can continue. Some believe it will continue because they believe that these stocks have these prices priced into what they will be trading at in the future. That makes this entire sector very volatile, very speculative. Gore La Montag says pot stocks are trash right now. Yeah, I don't know if I would use the word trash. I wouldn't use the word trash for one of the fastest growing billion-dollar sectors in the world. I would use the word consolidation. The cannabis sector is consolidating, which it's done many times, which it will do many times in the future. And I anticipate that there will be a resurrection. And when the resurrection comes, that's when the people that are calling it trash will say it's the greatest sector in the world. It's the greatest sector in the world. And then when it goes down, they're going to call it trash. I expect what's going to happen is that you're going to see more and more companies over the next month raise money. That's what my prediction is. My prediction is you're going to see more and more companies over the next month raise money because there's not much to talk about. There's not much to do. Nothing really exciting is happening. So let's just raise money. And that's going to dilute them further. And if they dilute further, that will create more buying opportunities for us if we're willing to be patient and we're willing to hunt bottoms. Gore La Montag is saying the big names are doing well, that's for sure, but all my holdings have been tanking. Is that just bad luck? Well, if you're holding cannabis stocks and the entire sector is going down, then your holdings are going to go down. If you're holding cannabis stocks and the entire sector goes up, then your entire holdings will go up. So you just have to ask yourself, how are you going to play this? Eric De Silva is saying, check out SLS, VIVE, VBIV, HSGX, and VVPR. There's going to be stocks that are going to go up and there's going to be stocks that are going to go down. That's the stock market. As a sector, we go up and down as a sector. This is nothing new. Anyone who's been watching the sector for the last 2.5 years knows that this is the way it goes. So I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself, how are you trading? How are you trading? When will Vivo break out? That's the billion-dollar question. Mr. Lou 1990 says they can't go lower. Don't go all in. Do your due diligence. Buy low, sell high. Well, they can go lower, first of all. They can go as low as they want to go. So they can go lower, but they can also go higher. Code R says, wouldn't this be a good time to average down on your price per share? I believe when you see stocks trading at a 52-week low, that you already know the answer to that. The best time to buy anything is at a 52-week low, and the best time to sell anything is at a 52-week high. So I'm not here to tell you what to buy or sell. That's not what I do. But in my opinion, this is a very good time to position yourself in some of your favorite cannabis stocks. Could it go lower? Absolutely. So yeah, You know, when I say it's a good time to position yourself, I don't mean today, this second, go buy something now. I mean overall, over the next 30 days, there's going to be a lot of 52-week lows and a lot of buying opportunities. So yeah, that's the time to position yourself. But the group chat is just going crazy. Like, these guys need to calm it down. 1 second here. Let me shut this off. Jeez. Telegram's going crazy. So, yeah, the markets are doing exactly what we expect they would do every single summer. If you've been watching Rich TV Live, I predicted that we were going to have a downturn in June, which we've had. None of this really should be too surprising to anybody. Yo, this Telegram needs to stop altogether. Thoughts on YSS Corp? I'm not familiar with them. MMEN is on a good bounce. MedMen is one of the biggest multi-state operators in America. They have a great future. They've had some issues with their management. I believe that MedMen is going to be a giant in America. And the key with MedMen is just to buy it low and sell it high. Quinton Simmons says, if you missed out on IIPR, you still have a chance to own a piece of it with YOLO ETF. So the YOLO ETF holds IIPR? I like that. Gopa32 says, Buffett says it best, kids. Be greedy when everyone is fearful and fearful when everyone is greedy. And that's just the way you got to trade. Fat Nut says, I'm knee deep in Liberty Health, but not worried. Just wished I would have waited 2 months for this opportunity. But here I am patiently in the cut. Well, look at it this way. Now, if you're interested in positioning yourself at a low price, now's the time to do it. Hey guys, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for the likes. I really appreciate it, guys. Stay away from Belmont Resources. What a joke. I mean, you know, there's a lot of mining companies that have been struggling. Belmont Resources is just one of many. Some have been doing well. If you want to look at a mining stock that's doing really well, which I predicted in my top 10, Fiore Gold. Take a look at this one. Fiore Gold is one of my top 10 picks, which I predicted for 2019 for July. And since my prediction this weekend, it has climbed 2 days in a row. And I believe it's going to go to $1. And you heard it here first, Fiore Gold. They are being promoted by National Inflation Association. National Inflation Association, in my opinion, are the biggest and the best promoters in the world for promoting mid-cap, large-cap stocks. And Fiore Gold is one that they're pushing hard. So I anticipate that Fiore Gold will go higher, and I would keep them on your radar, and I would keep them on your watch list. I believe they are one of the best small mid-cap gold stocks out there, and they're just gaining steam. So yeah, when you look at Belmont Resources, I mean, you're looking at a stock that never trades. So I think that, you know, one day they might turn into something, but they're just an early stage resource company. All early stage resource companies are highly speculative, highly risky. They're no different. Let's look at the entire sector overall. So if you go to richtvlive.com and you follow me there, you will see I have all my picks listed there. And if you look at the pot indices and you look at the Canadian pot index, which I'm going to pull up right now, Let's see if there's anything that is doing well today. I know we'll see a lot of red. So if we click on percentage gainers, so Namaste is up just under 5% at 64 cents. National Access Cannabis Corp, Meta, a company that I believe has a great future as far as its revenues generating, is up 3.7%. FSD Pharma is up 2.9%. Vivo is up 1.4%. And Supreme Cannabis is up 0.66%. That's it. I mean, we're not seeing, out of 49 companies, we have 5 red. That's rough. Flower, the Flower Corporation, a company I really like, 125 million is a lot of money. It's going to really help them grow. And I don't own it yet, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind picking it up around $4. So the Flower Corporation at $5.60, up 21%. MYM Nutraceuticals up 7.5, up, down. The Flower Corporation down 21%. MYM Nutraceuticals at 24.5 cents, down 7.5%. Emerald Health Therapeutics, EMH, down 6.9%. Aleafia Health is now at $1. Maybe one of the most undervalued companies in the entire world, down 6.5%. Agriflora Organics, down 6.3%. Indiva Limited, down 6.3%. Canopy Rivers, down 5.4%. I mean, the list goes on and on. Nanosphere Health Sciences, down 5%. True Leaf Brands, Inc., down 4%. THC Biomed International, down 4%. Canopy Growth at $52.95, down 1%. Aurora Cannabis at $9.92, down 0.2%. Kronos Group at $20.85, down 2%. Tilray at $47.89, down 0.29%. Afria, $9.21, down 1.5%. Hexo, $6.77. That's a good price for Hexo, down 4.1%. We've seen Hexo at $10. Now they're back to $6. Organigram, we've seen them over $10. They're back to $8.08, down 2%. CanTrust at $6.65, down 2%. The Green Organic Dutchman at $3.18, down 0.6%. I mean, yeah. Oxley is down 4% at 70 cents. TerraSend is down slightly at $6.29. Chiron Life Sciences at $2.21, down 3%. Heritage Cannabis down 1%. So, yeah, overall the markets are seeing a very large retraction today. So if there's any other stocks you want me to look at, please let me know. Drop it in the chat. If you haven't hit the like button, please smash the like button. Remember, Rich TV Live is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. Do your due diligence. Do your research. Always do your due diligence. Always do your research before you invest in anything that we talk about here on Rich TV Live. Invest in the best because the best is blessed. Okay? And always stay in your lane. Okay? Stay in your lane. James Vaughn says, excuse me, in my opinion, GBTC, gold and silver, and corn stocks will do well for the next few months with Feds cutting rates. MJ sector will pick up by mid-September. That's a good prediction, James. It's very possible. Peter Morley says, watching BAM, BMMJ in the US, BAMM in Canada, looking for a bottom fishing play around 111. BAM, same thing. They raised money, stock tanked. How do you like Heritage Cannabis? I like Heritage Cannabis. I think Heritage Cannabis has a future. I think they have a lot of upside, a lot of growth potential. So I'm a big fan of them. Absolutely. Quinton Simmons is saying, I'm waiting on Planet 13. Planet 13 had a big run over the last few months. They're consolidating a little bit like everybody else, but eventually they will find a bottom and the upside will be tremendous. Internet Thug TV, YGYI stock. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. YGYI. Let's try to pull it up here on richtvlive.com. Longevity International. Wow. Longevity International Inc. YGYI. $5.41, up 6.5%. The one issue I have with this stock is the volume. Only 16,000 shares traded at $5. So the volume isn't the greatest, but it's clearly doing well today. YGYI. You can see YGYI went all the way to $15 and has been as low as $3 in September 2018, currently trading at $5.41. It looks interesting. I'll definitely add it to my watch list, but the lack of volume concerns me a little bit. Okay, so good question. Rich, what does it mean when a Pink Sheet Stocks applies for an S1 form for uplisting? An S1 registration is when a company is essentially going to restructure and create new shares. So the reason why they do that is they're going to restructure and create new shares, and they're going to clean up any of their previous issues by filing an S1. To get the S1 approved, the SEC has to go through your entire history, and they actually have to be able to determine whether or not you qualify to graduate to the senior exchange and whether or not your S1 will qualify to be able to issue new shares. Then what happens is the company will then go and take that S1, and then they will shop it around to institutional investors who want to buy a portion of those shares, typically 30% of the float. And then what they're going to do is they're going to use that 30% of the float to go out there and raise capital. So for example, let's just say they raised $100 million in S1 stock. An institution's going to go, let's say Canaccord, institution's going to go and buy 30% of that float. They're going to say, here's $30 million, and they're going to own 30%. They're going to own 30 million shares. Then what they're going to do is they're going to apply for, let's say, the NASDAQ, and Canaccord is going to have 30% of their float, which they can use to trade back and forth to create liquidity for the security. That's what an S1 registration is. It's essentially an opportunity for a company to clean up their past and start fresh on the senior exchange. And I've worked with a lot of companies that have done S1 registrations, and they take a long time. Typically, it could take 3 to 6 months. Sometimes it can take years. So when a company files a Form S1, you have to be careful because you don't really know where it's going to go. And if it's done well, it can be very successful. But if it's done poorly, it can become highly dilutive if they got the wrong funder involved, and the stock can go down. So you need to be careful. Hey, my pleasure, man. Anything I can do to help the people, man. Been in this game for a long time, seen a lot of ups, seen a lot of downs, seen a lot of arounds. Worked on the inside with many public companies doing corporate restructuring, doing everything from raising money for public companies and doing subscription agreements to doing debt conversions and investing in public companies and then converting debt into equity, to creating convertible preferred shares to protect shareholders and protect management. Done it all. Day trading, long-term investing, investing in penny stocks, investing in big board stocks. Now we are talking about stocks every day. We're interviewing CEOs. So the sky's the limit. we're becoming a financial platform for investors all over the world. Hey, I'm still learning every day, Gopa32, myself. And every day I want to learn and educate myself and become better at this game and be able to educate and teach people so that they can become better too. And hopefully every single day we will learn a little bit more, we will earn a little bit more, and we will grow. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's all I want. That's all I ask, is that we as a community get better, we as a community learn more, we as a community earn more, and as a community, we have more tools and more resources that can help us as investors become more successful. In fact, there's an options trading expert that we are going to be partnering with. I'm going to introduce you guys to soon. So if you guys want to get into options trading, we're going to the next level. And we are partnering with one of the best options traders in the world. He's world renowned, and we're going to be working with him, and we're going to be bringing him into our community and introducing our members to the best, most successful options trader, one of the best and one of the most successful options traders in the world. So we definitely have been going in a different direction here, Rich TV Live. We've worked with a lot of different people, some very successfully, some moderately successful. And now that we're moving to the next level, we've got a new website. We've also got a new partner in the options game that we are partnering with. And very soon, I'm going to introduce you guys to him. And you guys are going to get blown away with how successful, how recognized, and how financially successful this individual is. And hopefully he's going to be able to help our community get bigger and get better. Options is something I've never done. I've done futures trading, I've done day trading, I've done long-term investing. I've never done options trading in my life. So this is an individual that only does options trading. He's world known. He's highly influential, very successful, and I feel blessed to even have him be a part of our community. And very soon I will be introducing this individual to our community, and it's just going to take us to the next level. Yeah, I know nothing about options either, Gorla Montag, and that's why I want to learn, and that's why I'm bringing this individual to our community so that I can learn more and I can bring more value to our membership. What do I think about MYMMF? You know, MYM Nutraceuticals, it was a company that had a lot of potential for me. I thought it had a future. They've been a disappointment. So honestly, my opinion is, you know, another penny stock under $1. Once they get under $1, they're highly speculative, highly volatile, very risky, and I would be careful. Gopa32 says, hey, that should be your new motto. Bigger, bolder, better. I like that. I like that. Good question, Peter Morley. Do you have a favorite US cannabis MSO? I really like Curaleaf, and I really like Trulieve, and I like C-Web. Those are my top 3. I like MedMen. I like Kush Bottles. Those are my top 5. MMEN, Cura, Trulieve. MMEN, Cura, Trulieve, C-Web. MMEN, Cura, Trulieve, C-Web. Kush Bottles. I like those 5. I think those 5 long-term are going to be absolutely enormous. And I think all 5 of them right now are at good prices. So yeah, I like those 5. If you want to position yourself in 5 good multi-state operators, those 5 right there, in my opinion, are the best. There's some others that are good. I mean, I love GWPH. I love IIPR. I love Acreage too. But those are priced really high. So if you want to get into something a little bit higher, those ones for sure should be on your radar. But I think those 5 right there are pretty good. Peter says, I like Cura a lot. Also sitting right on support today. Could be a good buy. I think Cura has huge potential. They got lots of revenue and they're growing exponentially. I think Cura has a great future. Thank you guys for the likes. I really appreciate you guys. Remember, Rich TV Live, we are here to educate and entertain the people. If you're not winning, you're probably not watching. We try to bring you winners. We try to bring them to you first. We've been doing it for 2.5 years. We will continue to do it. There has always been ups and downs in the market. And one thing you'll know about me is whether the market's red or green, I'm always going to pull up. I'm always going to show up. I'm always going to talk about it. I'm going to bring you guys my perspective. Now, one of the questions here is, do you understand warrants? Yes. Now, warrants are a method for companies to raise capital. So companies have shares. So just imagine a company has shares on a shelf, okay? So when a company says we have 100 million shares authorized, that's how many shares on the shelf. Now, out of that 100 million authorized, they're going to issue 50 million shares to insiders, employees, accountants, consultants, financiers, and you, the public, okay? So they're going to issue shares, 50 million shares. So they're going to have 50 million shares out there, which will be issued and outstanding. And if all of those shares are out there for trading, that's what we will call the float. 50 million issued and outstanding, and all 50 million are in the float because they're all out there to buy or sell. They're not being held on the shelf. Now there's an additional 50 million on the shelf still sitting there waiting. Now what the company wants to do is they want to raise some capital. So they're going to say, you know what, let's take 10 million of those shares and let's create some warrants. Now, when you buy those shares, that money is going to go into the company's treasury. That's going to give additional capital to the company that they can use for paying employees, paying themselves, acquiring their growth, expansion, you name it. Now, the other advantage or disadvantage, depending how you want to look at it, is that warrants have a strike price. Because the company wants to raise capital, what they do is they put a strike price. So let's say, let's talk about Cannabis. Their warrants are around 40, 50 cents. I don't really know. I haven't even looked recently. Let's just say the warrants are around 40, 50 cents. So you can buy the warrants at 40, 50 cents in the open market, but they have a strike price at 250, which means when it gets close to 250, you're going to get contacted by your broker and they're going to tell you you got 30 days to sell your warrants, or you're automatically going to have your warrants converted into cash. So at that point in time, you got 30 days to try to sell them at the best price. Otherwise, as long as the stock continues to go above 250 or higher, you're automatically going to have your shares converted into cash. So they have a strike price. And once that happens, you're going to get cash, the company's going to get cash, and it's a great tool for you to support that company. So a lot of times, companies create warrants so that insiders can invest directly back into the business. And they can help fund the company. That's typically why companies have warrants. It's another method to raise capital. And you've seen this with Oxley. Oxley did this and raised over $100 million. So it's a very good method to raise capital. There is a strike price. So I don't love warrants because I love upside on stocks. So one of the reasons I don't like to buy warrants too often is if I want a stock to go up dramatically and I'm buying warrants, I will be forced to sell at a strike price. So typically I don't buy warrants because I don't want to have to be forced to sell. I want to be able to see some upside on that stock. So that's typically why I don't buy warrants, but it's always different. Everybody has their own opinion. Peter Morley says, you are not an Ianthus fan. No, I am a fan of Ianthus. I like them a lot. I see huge upside for them. Gopa32 says, I can raise my hand to Kush bottles. I've never seen a red day in 2 years. Well, I mean, it's been read recently, so um, you know, you may want to position yourself soon because it's being sued heavily. The tactics by the shorters have it in the middle of major lawsuits, even though they're raising massive revenue. Eric Da Silva says SLS is the best long-term hold for y'all brothers and sisters. In 6 months, y'all be filthy rich. As big investors, just bought 5 million shares of SLS. Thank you for sharing your pick, Eric. Frank Lavaccia says Hexo tanking 678. They raised bank money at 650 last year. What's going on here? There was BAC, Best Buy in the sector. Oh, Bank of America. Buying opportunity, Frank. It's a buying opportunity for Hexo. It's exactly what it is. Frank says BAM at 123 and financing was at 125. What a buy if you have cash. Yeah, I read the financials of BAM. I'm not impressed. Personally, I would stay away from BAM. That's my own opinion. It could change, but I read the financials and there's a lot of going concerns with this company and it's very concerning for me. So personally, I would stay away. Frank, I think they raised 14 million at 125. I think that BAM is probably going to go under $1. So I would just be careful. First, I called them going under $2. I was 100% correct in that. Now it looks like they're going to go south of $1 because they just keep going down. So I don't know. NGW has been tanking. Mr. Lou 1990 says smart investors are getting out now to buy lower. I just think that, if you want to really make money, stay away from the smaller ones right now. There will be a time for the smaller ones to rise. Right now, I would invest in the best. The best is blessed. They will have a future. They will be protected. And the smaller ones will go down with authority because they're not being protected by the big boys. So institutional investors are not positioning themselves in these stocks under $1. Don't kid yourselves. It won't happen. So I would be careful. Listen to BNM Bloomberg and listen to all the big fund managers in Canada. None of them are buying cannabis stocks. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. You have to devise and create your own trading strategy. But my advice would be invest in the big ones. Small ones are risky. I'm personally going to reduce my portfolio to expose myself to only about 10% penny stocks, 90% big board. And moving forward, that's going to be my plan. I do like penny stocks. I like to take the risk. I like the upside here and there. I do like ZMA. It's been doing well for our members. Justin, good pick on ZMA, Zoom Away Travel. It's a penny stock that I own. I'm up on it, and I like it. But at the same time, they're risky and highly volatile, and you could lose everything. So be careful. Invest in the big ones. They are better for a reason. They are bigger for a reason. And chances are they will yield bigger returns because they have a future. Whereas a lot of these smaller companies, they're either going to be acquired or they're going to run out of money. Or they're going to keep raising capital, which is going to dilute their stock and is going to take them to nothing, which is not something you'd want to be in anyways. So I'd be careful. Dan says, sell till December. 'Tis the season. The summer drop is on. Yeah. And we've seen this for 2 years right now, Dan. Nothing new. Anyone who's been watching us knows that we've been watching this for 2 years. So I'm not really surprised with anything I see here in the summertime. Now's the time to go on vacation, go enjoy your friends, your family, your loved ones, go enjoy the beautiful weather, because that's what all the big investors are doing. And then in September, they're going to come back and it's game on. All right, guys, we've been live for 1 hour and 4 minutes. Thank you guys for watching. Have yourself a great day. This is Rich from Rich TV Live. Now, remember, if you're looking to learn about stocks, if you're looking to learn about the markets, you can go to richtvlive.com. It is a platform for educating investors. We have our picks on there. We've got the top hot indices in Canada and the United States on there. We got cryptocurrency news there. We got mining news there. We got tech news there. And there's more to come. All of our social media platforms are on there. Over 65,000 members watching Rich TV Live all over the world in over 60 countries. And we're growing stronger every day. Like I said, we've got a partner in the option space. It's going to be a surprise. He is world renowned and he's joining Rich TV Live community. So stay tuned. I'll break that news when it happens. A lot of big things are coming. A lot of things are happening. I got some more companies I'll be interviewing. A lot of people are on vacation right now, but I promise you guys more interviews, more updates, more news on stocks. Stay tuned. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. If you're not winning, if you're not watching, we bring you the winners and we bring them to you first. I'm out. Peace. Thank you guys. I appreciate all your likes. Have a great day. I'm out. If there's any big news, let me know. Drop it in the comment section. If you like the video, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And beside it, there's a bell for notifications. Hit the bell for notifications. So every time we go live, you get access to the information first at your fingertips. Your boy's out. Peace.